I was like, oh my God, I was young and beautiful. Now
You are 26.
I'm just young now.
Welcome back at Backseat Adulting podcast with Annie and Strike. We're back after our first ever episode for this podcast. It's not the first podcast we ever did.
Yeah.
We spoke about that last time. Thanks for your feedback, first of all. We also listened back to it, obviously, and the
Thanks
perfection.
for your feedback. We didn't change anything.
Yeah, we didn't change anything. Fuck that. So, basically, I have to change my voice a little bit, I realized.
Yeah. I have to speak louder, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. But
Just a little bit. And also turn your mic a little.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
he gave me vocal instructions on how to position my mic.
And then she didn't do it.
And I didn't do it because A, I forget about it. And B, I forgot about it.
Yeah, that happens. That's okay. Yeah, I was just checking whether my mic is set to flat
You're
as well.
super scared that it's not right.
No, it's fine. Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the whole perfectionist thing again.
Is the recording on?
It's all hitting me again. Last episode, we noticed in the middle of recording that the camera had just shut off.
Yeah.
And that's why you didn't have like a minute of lost video or something.
Oh, well.
So, it's...
Commercial time.
Yeah, we just added our sponsor, NordVPN. No, I'm kidding.
We're sponsoring ourselves
We're
right
not-
now. But that part would be up for grabs if you want it.
Mm-hmm. If you thought this is a cool podcast and you wanted to be part of it, that's where you could be. Oh, shit.
Yeah, we didn't cheer.
Sorry.
Cheers.
Maybe from now on we should make that the first sound. It's like the intro sound, like ding.
That's our intro song.
Yeah, but it's just
a ding.
It's just gonna make it sound like we're a church podcast.
Or
Oh,
alcoholics.
dear sheep, thank you for tuning in again.
Oh my God.
Satan.
Jesus.
Jesus. No, thank you very much for tuning in again. We basically cliffhangered the last episode on the topic of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Obviously a super wide topic, but because this podcast is about two different standpoints, from a millennial, me, 38, and a Gen Z, Annie, 26. The idea is that the whole podcast's idea is that we talk about life, media, video games, whatever, from these two different age standpoints. And that's also where the name comes from, Backseat Adulting.
Exactly.
So nostalgia, I guess the first question would be like, what is nostalgia for you?
I hoped you'd answer that question first. But oh well. Okay, so in my case, my job is also a very nostalgic one. So nostalgia for me is looking at photos and videos and remembering what happened around that time where the photo was taken, or when at the event where that photo was taken.
Right. So the connection to the picture that you're looking at.
But it's just that's for me my nostalgia. I've been cleaning up my photos. I have over like 200,000 photos.
200,000
on one drive.
Shit,
and
dude.
I cleaned that up, and I got so nostalgic.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I was young and beautiful. Now
You are 26.
I'm just young now.
See, but at least you realize you're still young. I cannot even say that anymore. I look at pictures of myself when I was like 26 or 28, or when I started streaming. When I watch old streams sometimes, I kept I think I kept most of my streams. I know from 2020 I kept all of them, but I kept like the first ever stream and like the first milestone, or like the first anniversary stream that I did. And I gained weight ever since, like a good 10 kilograms.
Yeah, me too.
And the difference is incredible. And I wish I looked like that again, but I'm just too fucking lazy to like really look after what I eat or work out. I don't understand how people can work out. I tried it. I did it for 2 or 3 months.
It's hard when you work a office job because you sit the whole day.
Yeah.
In my case, I was in my best form when I worked as a photo assistant, and I had to carry and set up gear all day long, and I was like
fit.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
And I look at those pictures and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I want to be her.
I want to be her again. It's crazy. I cannot even use the it's an office job excuse much. Because I work in a company where everybody is fucking athletic as shit. And everybody just like takes the lunch break or like the hour right after work to work out.
Oh,
and I cannot, dude.
Okay.
I cannot.
I couldn't do that either.
Nah.
Especially during work hours, like over lunch. No, just no.
Nah.
No.
I couldn't do that. This is crazy. Nostalgia.
Do you guys have showers at your office?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. No, that would be disgusting, honestly. Nostalgia, for me, it's a bittersweet feeling. I think that's part of the definition, actually. Like nostalgia is usually for something that was good or that in hindsight was good.
Yeah.
So for me, nostalgia is mostly because I'm a huge nerd, it's mostly in like seeing videos of like old games or old game music or something like that. That really brings a nostalgia thing to me. And it's painful for my heart that people now talk about a game that came out in 2005 or something as a retro game, as a classic game.
Yeah, but I see your problem with that because it doesn't feel like it's retro.
No.
Because I was alive, I played the game.
Yeah.
Retro for me is something that was created before my time.
Yeah, ideally. But the thing is, like if I'm 60, and then I feel rightfully so, people will call a game that came out in 2005 a retro title, like an old game. And then I can't be like, oh, but this came out in my life. Like, I hope I don't sound like that when I'm
I'll definitely sound like that when I'm 60. Yeah, like, when I was your age.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last episode, the whole giving advice, unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
When I was your age, we had 2-dimensional video games and it was fucking enough.
Exactly.
And now, with your metaverse, Mark Zuckerberg, pew pew, bullshit, you goddamn kids don't know how good you have it. It's really
pew,
funny.
Pew, pew.
Sorry, go ahead.
Pew pew bullshit.
Pew pew bullshit. What's really funny to me is VR. VR is a thing that came out, or like slowly became a thing when I was, I want to say 28, something like that. And I remember vividly a friend of mine had a developer kit for the Oculus Rift back when it wasn't owned by Meta. And since it was a dev kit, you couldn't like just hook it up and play. You had to install, I don't know how many libraries and set shit up.
Oh my God.
But he was really good at that. And so one night, we went there to play fucking horror games. Mostly it was horror games. It was Alien. I see your face. Those weren't really games. It was more like horror experiences. There wasn't much you could do other than walk around and shit happened to you. But I grew up on horror games. My first like hate love in horror was Resident Evil, the original one. And I'm still an incredible Resident Evil nut. Like I have a part of my arm tattoo is Resi. And I still think the classics are the best. Fight me in the comments. I don't give a shit.
I hate horror games.
I understand. I hate them too.
Do you know the game Stray?
The cat game?
Yeah. That was horror enough for me.
Why?
Because it had those things that were following you and jumping out of a wall, and that was horror enough for me.
I don't think I ever played it that far. That was horror enough for you?
Yeah. Also because, I had my wisdom teeth removed, and I was on medication, and I played the game in one go.
Okay,
like
so you were
one
high
night,
as fuck.
High as fuck, playing Stray, and it was enough.
I see. Understandable. I think every game could be a horror game in that situation.
Maybe I should play it again.
Maybe you should play it again in like a very, very like calm, cozy situation. No, but Resident Evil started this thing for me. I feel like horror games have changed so much in the last 20 years. And when people now look at Resident Evil 1, especially younger people, I see that in YouTubers, and that person's like 25, and they speak about Resident Evil like oh, tap on the head, like how could this ever be considered scary scary to anyone? Yo, I shit my pants.
Okay, so that's where I should start.
If you want to start understanding survival horror, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, the original ones, are the thing.
Okay.
And it just came out as a classic collection on GOG.com, I think. Not sponsored or anything. I literally just read that yesterday. Nostalgia for me, to get back to that, is this bittersweet feeling of something back then. Like, it was actually really good back then, but I never really realized it. And it doesn't mean that now is necessarily worse. It's just nostalgia always for me has this vibe of everything was easier. It's maybe because nostalgia, if you're in your 30s, nostalgia is still strongly connected to childhood. I think when you're older, nostalgia will be also connected to like your early adulthood or your 30s or something.
Okay,
but
I see.
Life was just easier back then, and that's nostalgia for me. A bittersweet pang. I just had a thing in my head that I really liked, a description of nostalgia, and I've just forgot it because I have ADHD.
Same. So in my case, I try not to be nostalgic because right now my life is much better than it ever was before.
Right.
I do have a few things that I get nostalgic about. But I don't like to dwell on the past.
Yeah.
But I'm also 26. I don't have a long past.
Yeah. It's wild.
That's depressing. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. I feel like, I hate to say this, but like I get this moment of when you scoff a little bit, like when I hear like some 17-year-old talk about nostalgia, like on YouTube or something. And I'm like, what are you nostalgic about? Like fucking shitting your pants?
Maybe.
Like eating mushy peas because you didn't have any teeth. What are you? Everything was easier back then because you didn't have to bite on food.
I get nostalgic about 4 years ago, like staying home, playing games.
Yeah, I mean, you mean COVID?
Yes. I love to stay home.
Yeah, same.
And I always try to make excuses so nobody asks me why. And I pulled the I have diarrhea card a lot of times, but I never had diarrhea, so.
You never had diarrhea?
No.
Shit. Yeah, so you can't be nostalgic about that.
And the pandemic came and I was like, oh my God, my dream's coming true.
Yeah. I have to admit one thing about the pandemic. I love my friends. But my wife and we always wanted a small wedding. And if you want a small wedding, or always wanted a small wedding, like when we spoke about when I proposed and she said yes, and then we started talking about getting married. And I was like, I've always wanted this, always like my wedding that I saw in front of my eyes was a small, nice little family affair with not many people at all. Like maybe just like the best man and the bridesmaid and some family. Usually you have your godfather, your godmother. And because of like, it's still like somewhat culturally considered the end of your youth/childhood thing, right? And so COVID hit, and we were already engaged, and we were like, not specifically because of COVID, but we said we want to do it now.
Yeah.
And so we did, and because of COVID, we could only have like 10 people at the wedding. That was like the legal thing. And looking back, it was a very nice small affair. We are happy with it. And her parents couldn't be there because of the pandemic. And they lived somewhere else in a different country. But we invited them later to go on a nice weekend trip with like all 6 of us. And it was super great. But it also, and if any of my friends ever watch this, I'm so sorry, but it also allows me to nobody's pissed at me. Nobody's like, oh, you didn't invite me. Why didn't invite your friends? I can just say, it was COVID.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah.
We need another pandemic.
Just so you can
The
get
moment
married.
I get engaged,
All right.
and we need another pandemic.
What if we actually do get another pandemic, like 6 or 12 months from now, and we look back at this nostalgically?
Honestly, like 2020 was the first year I got an agenda, like a calendar in a book form.
Right.
Because it was like, oh my God, this year is going to be so full and I'll need to plan. And yeah, we all know what happened. And now every time I'm overwhelmed, I'm like, I'm going to buy an agenda. It's going to be...
I have to organize my entire life. I'm a shit for brains. Like I don't know if that's also the ADHD thing, but I do need like a calendar where I can put everything. And at work, I use my calendar to block myself.
Yeah.
When I'm like, oh, this week I still have to do this. I'll do it on Thursday. I still have time at 10 and I'll put in a 15, 30, 1 hour, whatever slot. That has two advantages. A, it's like a task list that I can go through and it's already organized by day.
Yes.
And B, it blocks me for that time. So if somebody wants to send me a call or whatever,
It
they
doesn't
see
work.
that I'm blocked.
Yeah. For me, I also have ADHD, but as soon as I put something in my calendar, I forget about it. So I can keep everything in my brain
Actually, yeah, same.
until I write it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can keep like doctor's appointments in 6 months in my head. But as soon as I write them down, it's gone.
Yeah.
I forget about it.
Yeah. I get it.
So I keep a calendar for work.
Yeah.
And I get reminded sometimes like, Anja, we have a thing then. And I'm like, oh, I wanted to do something else.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you. I started being extremely organized, maybe over-organized, when I was a student, uni student, actually. Because I was tight on money, like every student. And so with my then girlfriend, who was a very organized person, we set up an Excel file for me to like organize my financials, like down to the cent, like super, super precise. And now that I earn good money and I don't need to do that, I still do it every cent. And I go by and that's not nostalgia, but that's a backseat adulting, a good topic of like how generations maybe look at money. I at some point started using the give every buck a job, give every dollar a job system, where you don't basically just have money at the end of the month and then you use it for something maybe, or you don't do anything or whatever. But the idea is that on your main control account, you go to 0 at the end of every month, or maybe 50. So you have like some leftover. So you get money, you get paid. My day-to-day card is my credit card. I pay off my credit card, I pay off rent, I pay off my bills, anything I have to, and then there's money left over. Luckily, there's money left over. And then I take that and I put some on my rainy day account that I have with my wife. I put some on, within my Excel file, I have a whole list of stuff that I'm saving money for. So I put away a little bit for this, a little bit for this, a little bit for this. And this is how at some point I have enough money for a new computer. At some point I have enough money for a new phone. And I'm also, if I spend money on something expensive, I feel bad about it. I immediately think like, I like the sensation of shopping, as I think the internet has done to us generally, or shopping has always been like a very serotonin pushing experience. But it always made me feel bad, like, oh shit, now what do I do for the rest of the month? And so with this, I have the money for an iPhone. I want to get a new iPhone. I'm going to buy a new iPhone. I use that money. I like do my Excel thing where I say I used it from this, and I feel calm about it and I don't stress about it at all. Because once I start stressing about something, I can't let go. It takes over my mind. And this has been very helpful. Setting it up in the beginning is a little bit hard because you have to really get into it. But once you start doing it, I have every month calculated on my network storage, every month calculated back to like 2019.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I had a little shopping addiction when I started working in an office job in marketing. Like, well, not really addiction, but like I didn't need everything.
Right.
Like I bought clothing and gear for the camera and everything. Yeah, I have my own company, and since I started this, I stopped shopping. And I think about it a few times, like, do I really need this? Do I really need a new phone? Do I really need new shoes? Yes, I do, but I'm still very frugal about it. I don't know what changed in my head, but I'm like, do I really need this?
Right.
And
yeah,
it's good. But I also see sometimes, depending on how the income of the company is, I get very scared. That's from my childhood.
I see.
Like
existentially.
Yeah,
existential dread.
We wanted to buy a few things for the kitchen, like a sauce, spoon, or whatever.
Okay, simple stuff.
And we were talking about this for like 6 months, and it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And
damn. Was it made of gold?
No.
Was it like 500?
Stainless steel.
500
so
bucks.
I was thinking to myself, why don't we have this? I mean, it's not a lot of money, but why didn't I buy this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I don't need it every day, but maybe it's nice to have it because yeah, sure.
Right.
So I kind of pressured myself into buying those things. Like now I have to push myself to do that.
Yeah.
But I know my finances very well. I'm very proud of that. The one thing I will never do personally is buy things when I can afford them.
Yeah.
Like if I can't afford it, I won't buy it.
Well, good. This is how you don't go broke.
Yeah, but
ultimately.
Yeah.
No,
but I
but
see a lot of people overspending, especially on credit cards, because they're like, okay.
No, that's such a thing you hear from like the US, I think, as a cliche, where people just get multiple credit cards and just max out one and pay it off with the other. It's unthinkable for me.
Yeah, same.
You could argue like, another position of, I forgot the word. Position of privilege.
Yeah.
That we're like, I'm well off. Like I'm not rich at all by far, but I'm okay off. And still I know that even if I had drastically less money or I didn't have a job or like lost my job or whatever, I'd immediately like completely like shut down all my spending that I know is not necessary, like fucking Netflix, even like the Creative Cloud type thing. Any subscription that I don't need is gone. Yeah, I feel like maybe because I'm at work, I'm like surrounded by people mostly my age or like 33 plus or something. People that you say, oh, you've arrived, financially arrived. So there's never this you never see people and you think, oof, maybe you should look after your money a little bit more. And interestingly enough, the younger friends that I have, because from work and from when I was at uni, everybody was a bit younger than me, and I befriended those people and I'm still friends with them. And one of them is one of my best friends and was my best man at my wedding. And he's also like 10, 11 years younger than me. And interestingly, all of them are really good with money. I don't remember anyone being like drastically bad, which is good, which I'm happy about. But maybe this is also like a self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense of, you surround yourself with the type of people that you vibe with.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think so too, because, well, you wouldn't be friends with them if you wouldn't vibe with them.
Right. You don't necessarily vibe on every level. You can be very financially responsible, but be friends with somebody who's completely not.
Yeah, it's not only the financial part, but
of course. But I do feel like the older you get, and I don't know if this is different for you, but I feel like the older I got, the more my 2 or 3 friend circles that I have, became more like me, or I became like them, or you sync more. And for a long time, I used to consider that as, I'm becoming old and boring. But by now, and that's also been part of therapy, by now it's just accepting that life makes you. You make life, and this is where you go. And at some point, you like find the base level of existence. which yeah, ideally again you connect to your friends about. It's funny. I don't know how this is for you.
I'm still at the I'm old and boring stage where I feel about
26. You are neither old nor boring. You're 26.
I have 2 friends. Well, no, I have more friends.
Damn, what am I?
No, thing is,
Damn.
you get.
What are we?
No. The 5 people you see the most have the most impact on you.
Of course.
And it took me a long time to figure out who's the 5th person in my life.
You're 26. Are you still connected to, or like, did you ever care specifically about remaining connected with people you were friends with at school?
No.
No?
I left that place when I was 18, as soon as I could, and never looked back.
But that's not a generational thing. That's just your
individual.
Me. Okay.
That's my individual view on this. Just because I didn't have good experiences.
Right.
There were some YouTube videos of me. Sometimes I got messages from them. When I was working in that marketing office, there were videos of me as ads, sometimes in front of other YouTube videos or on Instagram.
So they used you as like a model in okay.
And those people saw me on those videos.
Thank you.
And they texted me.
Like old friends.
Like people I haven't talked to in 10 years.
Yeah.
Hey, nice. How are you doing? Oh my God, I saw you as an ad. And I was like, okay, cool.
Right.
What
did you get along with them before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Because I honestly, like, if somebody tells me something like this happened to me, or somebody did this, I always try to consider, would I do that? Like for my own moral code. I feel like if I had a friend whom I was friends with, I don't know, fucking 10 years ago or something, and then I never hear of them again, which just how life goes sometimes, and then I see them as an ad on a billboard, which is a kind of a special thing, I'd probably be like, yo, I saw you as a billboard. I mean, that in itself is not necessarily, in my opinion, a bad thing to do. It's where you go from that. If it's just, hey, cool, that's really cool that you can do that. I hope you're doing well. Okay, bye. Okay, fair. If this sparks a connection again, okay, fair. If they use it to like ask you for something, that's weird, because this happened for me for a while. And in a few years after I quit law school, I still got messages out of nowhere from somebody that I knew 10 years ago. Like, yo, aren't you like a lawyer or something? I have this issue with my landlord. I was like, yeah, nice, dude. I'm not going to help you.
I need a new camera.
Yeah. We just spoke about buying stuff that you don't need. Here you go.
I do need this.
And you need a new camera.
This is my...
You need a Cinema 4K.
This is my photo camera.
Yeah.
I want the Blackmagic Pixie.
How much?
How much?
How much?
Not much.
Yeah.
Blackmagic is like very cheap.
What?
Yeah, it's like 2,000 for a body.
Yeah, okay. If you work, I mean, you do this professionally, so...
Yeah.
If I were just to get
it's my hobby.
if I were to just get a Blackmagic camera, 2K is a shit ton.
Yeah, but there's also like the Pocket Cinema, and they are right now like 1,000. Honestly, I don't know how much they are, but it's
I don't want to derail the podcast, but I'm just interested. Do they output live 4K 60?
Yeah, I think so.
Because then I would consider using that as my stream camera.
I mean, it's still like not out. They made the announcement and they're gonna sell them like this month, apparently. We will get one, of course.
Okay.
Or 2 or 3. Well, let's see. We can try it out.
Yeah.
Because our videographer really wants to do live streams, and he needs...
Of him working, or?
Huh?
Of what?
Gaming, podcasts.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't really care. He just wants to try it.
Cool.
We'll try.
Yeah, we'll try with a fucking Blackmagic camera.
Try.
I'm already, like, for streamers, I'm already at like the top end of material. I have 2 cameras and neither of them is a webcam. They're both, I think, Panasonic G60s.
Yeah.
With a capture card and everything. And that's like already like most people just use a fucking webcam. Yeah. And I'm actually considering removing one of them and using an Elgato Pro Cam, because I don't know how I didn't know that, but apparently that thing does native 4K 60.
Oh,
And I was like, what?
but why do you need 60?
I want 60 because my stream is 60 and most gameplay is 60 and everything has to be 60.
Sure. Okay.
The question is, why do you want 4K? Because Twitch doesn't do 4K. The good thing about 4K is that I stream 1080p 60. So if I want to zoom a little bit or I want to change the Bildausschnitt, the part of the picture I want to show, you need 4K.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's pretty much it. And most cameras that I saw so far are like HD 60, full HD 60, and anything above. If it's 2160p, it'll be 30 FPS. And that's just not sufficient.
Oh, well.
Nostalgia, when cameras did what? 20, 25 FPS?
Stopped recording at 15 minutes.
Probably something like that. I sometimes stumble over my dad's like old, I forgot what they called, hi8 tapes.
Yes.
And they're like this thick, and he has like an adapter into VHS, and he specifically still has a VHS player just so he can play these, because it's a lot of like old family stuff. And when I was a kid, and he got a kick out of playing them for like new girlfriends when they came over for the first time, and he did the same with my wife, of course, when I brought her in for the first time, and he's like, "Oh, so cute! Oh, so cute!" And you're sitting there like,
please stop.
Please stop. And there's a video. I was a very musical child. There's my parents bought me like a keyboard where you could like set a drum or like a melody, and you just had to press like the key to change the key. And I like sang to it and danced to it, and they filmed all of it. And
okay,
it's great. It's not.
I did learn how to develop film,
like classic old photo film.
Like not only classic, but the large format for 4x5-inch film.
Okay. Damn.
That's what I worked on in 2019.
Damn.
No, it was stupid.
So long ago.
It was super stupid. Why did I have to learn this?
Yeah, you understand, but you understand the basics, like the physical basics of this. I don't understand
how but you don't need it to work. Nobody wants film anymore.
Yeah.
On commercial shoots.
Yeah. That's true.
And that's what we learned.
That's true.
How to take product pictures on film. I can show you the negatives. I have them here.
Are you nostalgic for that?
For the smell.
The
developer smell on your hands after you developed photos. Oh my God.
What does it smell like?
I cannot explain it. When you smell it for the first time, you think, oh my God, this is so disgusting. And when you did it a few times, you're like, oh my God, this is great.
Does it give you a high?
A little bit, yes.
Okay,
I think so.
You're just an addict.
I think so, yeah. But I do developing in my bathtub sometimes, so.
That works?
Yeah.
So you just turn off the light, put on a red light?
No red light, because film has to be dark.
Really?
You cannot have any light.
So how do you do it? Blindly?
Blind, yes. Christ. This is my description, just closing my eyes. Like this.
How do you do
it? You have to do everything blind.
Right.
And until the negatives developed, there's no light allowed to touch anything. So the red light comes in play when you do like when you put it on photo paper.
When you enlarge it.
And the photo paper isn't sensitive to red light.
Right.
So you can see, and that's what you see in the movies with the baths. When you shake and the picture is coming. Yeah.
It starts appearing.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
super magical. I always thought, like, how the fuck does this happen? Like physically, how the fuck does that work?
You know what we did? Photographers smoke a lot. We did the photo developing with the cigarette in our mouth. And I had to learn how to do that because I never could do that. And I was like in there learning how to smoke with the cigarette in my mouth and developing film next to it. It looked disgusting probably, but it was a vibe.
Nice.
Austria. That's Austria for you.
Smoking in Austria. I think that's the episode time. For
already?
Us. Yeah. What we should talk about next time when we stick with nostalgia is like, you know, what is nostalgia specifically for you in video games? Like what for you is like a thing that you look back at, oh, those were the times. But I think that would be interesting, or just generally media consumption. together with like TV. I feel like TV is an interesting topic. So that was Backseat Adulting episode 2. We had a few tech issues. Sorry about that. Stick with us. If you are on a platform where you can leave comments. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. If you have ideas for us to talk about, let us know, and we'll consider them for one of the next few episodes. This is Annie.
This is Strike.
And we are Backseat Adulting, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you very much.
Bye.